Welcome back to another take from We Killin' It.
I'm Tyler.
I'm Matt.
Kindy.
Before we go in today's episode, I just wanted to take a second to say thank you so much for listening, squad, and for helping this show by liking on YouTube or leaving a 5-star ratings and positive review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps the show get on the charts and for more people like us to discover it. So thank you again so very much.
And without further ado, on to the fun.
What is going on, squad? We just wanted to start off this podcast by saying a very happy Black History Month. We chose to do a wonderfully amazing film this time. I know it's a Western and we are not a Western channel. It just happens to be this way, okay? It's called The Harder They Fall. And it just so happens to be one of the very few Westerns with a nearly almost all Black cast. And I have to say, it is incredible.
They did a fantastic job.
For
They
real.
did. They really, really did. I'm just so impressed by all of it. Now, in the very beginning of the movie, it says that even though that this story is fiction, all of these people are real. And and for some of the stuff we're going to tell you, and if you go and look up yourself, you will see that like some of these people are amazing, incredible people. My little first fun fact to start everything off is Nat Love was a real cowboy in the Old West, and he wrote an autobiography called The Life and Adventures of Nat Love, a true history of slavery days, and it was published in 1907.
That is quite a while ago.
Yeah,
That
so
sounds fantastic.
we're doing The Harder They Fall. It was released in 2021. The writer and director is James Samuel. The movie is starring Jonathan Major, Zazie Beetz, Eddie Gathegi, Regina King, Idris Elba, and R.J. Seiler. It is produced by Martin Wist. I'm going to give you the same as always, a nice little spoiler warning. And the movie itself is rated R for strong violence and language.
I love how the director shows everyone it's his movie, though.
Yeah,
And,
bro.
that little like, stop the reel. Here's
Yep.
my name. Okay, here you go.
It was sick.
That was
It
great.
It was sick. I really, really dug it. The movie opens up to Nat Love eating dinner with his parents when Rufus Buck and his gang come to their house and gun down Nat's parents and carves a cross into Nat Love's forehead. Now, when Idris Elba knocks on the door and they open the door and you just see Idris's face, like chills run up my spine, man. Chills run up my spine. It was good. I think that they did very well in this movie by framing certain shots to show off personalities of people. And in that one, they did that exact thing. You were like, oh, there's another movie where Idris is a bad guy, and like the first scene with him, he's got like all these I think it's Fast and the Furious. And like the first time you see him, he's like bad guy and he points at himself. And like this movie did that too, but without him having to say it. And I thought that was awesome.
It was just his presence, man.
It was. So he shoots Nat's mom and then he shoots Nat's dad. And it's a really traumatic and like really
Oof.
powerful scene. He leaves Nat and Nat grows up and we get to see him some years later. A grown Love is now an outlaw and he's killing one of Buck's former gang members, the Scorpion. And he's now a priest.
This is great. Oh my gosh, yes. So he's standing over by the altar, and then Priest Scorpion comes in. He's like, I mean, like, hey man, all I know him by is Scorpion.
It's all good.
And they're talking for a minute, and he's like, well, I mean, like, you looking for spiders or something? And he's like, no, I think I'm looking for scorpions. And you could just see homie just like shy his little tattoo away. And he's like, well, there's different times and stuff. And he's like,
It was a long time ago, I'm sure.
yeah.
Oh yeah, he was like, man, it was a long time ago. I'm sorry.
And then Nat takes off his hat and he sees the cross on his head, and everything drops in his pants. Like
Right.
this poor father is
You
just
see,
like,
you
oh
see,
no.
you see so much fear in the priest's eyes.
Yeah.
Once he
It's
sees that
fantastic.
cross, he's like, "Oh damn, I'm about to die."
What was it you said when we were watching? His sins just stared him back down in the face.
Yeah,
His
and he
sins
was
just stared at
scared.
him.
As you should be.
His sins looked him in the face, and he was
Ooh.
Yeah.
terrified.
Talk
And
about your
then
karma
homeboy
coming to
juggled him.
call.
He juggled him with his gun.
He shot him like
Ah,
4 times and
boom,
juggled him off
boom.
the ground. It was awesome.
Dude
It's
just
like in
went
Hogwarts
flying back.
Yeah.
when you juggle people. Man.
Now, while Love is doing this, his partners, sharpshooter Bill Pickett, who is like literally one of my favorite characters in this whole movie, sharpshooter, and quick draw Jim Beckworth, ambush another gang and steal their haul from a recent bank robbery. The lone survivor tells them that the $25,000 they have stolen belongs to Buck. They're a little worried about this now. At first they were like, "Nah, man, you robbed the bank. They gonna be looking for you." And he was like, "Yeah, but why did we rob this bank? Because it wasn't for me." They take back this character who's got the worst and ugliest teeth I've ever seen in my life. It's his name is Monroe Grimes, but he's played by Damon Wayans
Damon
Jr.
Wayans Jr.
Yeah, and he did great.
He can't help himself, man.
I've loved David Wayans Jr. since like the first time I've seen him, and
He's
I'm a big
great.
fan. He's really great. It was really fun to see him like this.
He really looked like he wanted to say a joke or laugh about something in a few
Yep.
of the scenes because he's just like,
he's
Look
got
at
like a
us.
half a grin on his face the whole time. Love
It must have been
travel.
so much fun.
Oh, you know it was. It was. It definitely was. Love travels to meet his former lover, Mary Fields, who is played by the magnificent and wonderful Zazie Beetz, who runs a chain of saloons. Pickett brings news of the heist to Love. Buck's gang, led by Trudy Smith and Quick Draw Cherokee Bill, my second favorite character, ambush a train on which Buck is being transported by a group of corrupt soldiers. The soldiers reluctantly release Buck, who orders all of them killed, save for the youngest. Buck and his gang return to their home of Redwood, where Trudy has a saloon. Now, Tyler's second fun fact. When Lakeith Stanfield boards the train to free Idris Elba, the train company's name on the side of the train is C.A. Bozeman. This is a tribute to Chadwick Aaron Bozeman, who sadly passed away in August of 2020. Rest in peace. During the heist to rescue Rufus Buck, Cherokee Bill asks the general on the train, "Are you going to let us off Dred Scott free?" Dred Scott was an important legal case which went all the way to the Supreme Court in 1857. Dred Scott, a slave, sued his owner for freedom as the law required slaves who spent time in free territories to be released from slavery. The Supreme Court ruled that citizenship was not intended to be granted to African Americans, causing a further inflaming public debate over slavery and contributing significantly to the start of the Civil War.
Ooh.
Ooh.
How you gonna be like, yeah, you're allowed to be free here,
But not there.
but not you?
It's so stupid, man. It's all stupid.
The town is now run by Buck's former associate, Wiley Esco. Although left in charge by Buck, Esco has used the position for profit at the expense of the town. Everything looks really nice, and Wiley's got these nice, pretty gold caps on all his teeth.
I really love this scene where he's just tough talking nothing. He's just like sitting in his office,
he's practicing.
eating his
His
steak.
steak.
And he's hard tough talking. He's got his voice all
You gonna
low
come
and
into my
sexy.
town? Start bossing me around. Then there's his knock on the door. Yes.
Yes.
They
It's
pull
so
back
funny.
and he'd been alone there the whole time. He's just practicing his mean mug.
Gots to when you're the sheriff.
Got to.
Man. But beats him to a pulp. and orders him to GTFO. Buck gathers up the townspeople and tells them that they will need $50,000 to save the town and proposes a tax to raise that money. And yeah, obviously nobody in this town has any money, so there's some grumblings amongst the crowd.
Yeah.
And he immediately kills the first person to raise their voice in objection.
He did. And you got to think about this objection too. I just looked it up. And in 1800, $15,000 is equivalent to $353,329. Like, that's an insane amount of money to come up with out of nowhere. And they had just told us that the bank didn't have any more than a couple pennies over $2,500.
Right.
Yeah. I really love his execution though. It's one of my favorite lines. He walks up to this guy. He's like, "What's your name?" My name's James. Bang! Rest in peace, James.
Bro, that's some
Like,
cold
ooh.
shit. That was some cold shit.
Like that's the opposite of what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to know their name.
Yeah. You're not supposed, you don't want to know their name because that stuff haunts you in your dreams and stuff, man. Like, I don't know. That was some hardcore stuff.
My man said, "Tell me your name so
He
then I can
wanted to
kill
know.
you."
Yeah.
Like, man, you evil.
He doesn't want any objections to this, and he doesn't want anybody getting any wise ideas about skipping town either, which, how is anybody supposed to raise money if they don't have any money without
Raise money.
leaving? So I feel a little conflicted there, but he understands that the townsfolk are not going to be terribly helpful right now. In Stagecoach Mary's saloon, Marshall Bass Reeves arrives, played by the amazing Delroy Lindo, and he came to arrest Love and remove him in handcuffs. The arrest was staged by Reeves and Love in order to hunt down Buck without involving Love's gang. And Reeves is angry because Buck has been pardoned, and he knows Love wants revenge. Love's gang, however, accompanied by Fields and her friend Cuffy, suspecting a ruse, followed Love and Reeves and insist on joining. Like, I really, if he really didn't want them to follow him, he shouldn't have staged all that right in front of them.
I love Bill Pickett. He's paid by Eddie Gathegi in this, and he goes, "I might call myself a bit hurt, because he left his gang and went to go do a mission
Right.
without him, and he was like, oh, my feels, bro."
My
feels. Cuffy was mad. Of course, Mary was upset because right when he said, "I'm not going to run around anymore," and she's like, "Yes, you are."
Yep.
He ran off to go
Immediately.
his revenge. Like
Because
2
she
seconds
even
later.
mentioned Rufus. She was like, "You're gonna leave the second you hear about Rufus Buck." He was like, "No, I'm not. He's in jail forever." And then for real, no, 3 minutes later, his gang shows up with news of Rufus Buck. Now, say that is how the world works.
They encounter Wiley Esco, who is doing the walk of shame, limping and all bruised faced and just, and missing some teeth too. Because
Oh
when he
my
got
God, I
his
love
beat
that.
down, by Rufus, Rufus knocked the heck out of some teeth and was just like, "Hey, kid, come pick up those gold teeth and give them to your mama." I was just
Y'all
like,
rich now. But
"Oh."
he has the best line there because he's like, he hits that dude in the face and two teeth pop out and he goes, "Oh shit, I struck gold." Like, bro.
I just gotta punch the
Damn.
gold out of him.
I like
Oh
that
my
too
gosh.
when he's like, oh, doing the walk of shame and everything, and he's on his horse and he hears the guns cock. He's like, "You can rob me, but I ain't got nothing." Because like he didn't even have his pride at that moment. You know what
He
I
was
mean?
like, "I ain't got nothing to rob.
You might as well just shoot me. Like he
I
was
don't even have my
done.
teeth."
Man.
So they encounter Wiley on this wild walk now, and they all gather around a dinner fire, I suppose. And he let them know that Buck returned to Redwood. Mary volunteers to scout Redwood under the cover of offering to buy Smith's saloon.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb. It was dumb. That was a dumb decision.
Mm.
Even Love was like, "That's stupid. I'm not gonna let you do it." And she was like, "You ain't gonna let me do a damn thing. I'm a grown ass woman."
Like, I ain't asking, not asking permission here. The night before she leaves, Love proposed to her, but she turned him down. Yeah,
I cried.
I did too, but it's not a great relationship. It's very toxic. And
No, they're definitely hurting each other pretty consistently.
when Fields arrive in Redwood, Smith immediately takes her prisoner and beats her, then says that she's going to hold Fields hostage for a day and then kill her unless somebody came to fetch her. Love's gang arrived the same night, but Smith insists that Love joins Field in captivity, which he does. Smith has Love beaten, and then Buck tells him that in order to release Fields, Love will need to rob a bank in Marysville, a white town, and give Buck the money.
Mayosville, as we called it when we were watching it. It's really messed up. Like, it's a crazy situation. I mean, there's another movie I really love called American Ultra with Jesse Eisenberg. It's got a similar
Movie's great.
idea where like he's got a bomb on him, and if he wants the bomb off, he's got to go rob a bank. What a crazy situation!
Right.
Like
How are you supposed to think?
I have a little fun fact. Stagecoach Mary was a real person, just like the rest of the people in this film. During the Black Pioneer days, she would protect Wild West stagecoaches. That's why she's called Stagecoach Mary. Would-be mail thieves didn't stand a chance against her. The hard-drinking, quick-shooting mail carrier sported 2 guns and men's clothing. Now, according to historian D, and pardon me, this is going to be rough. Garceau Hagen, one nun, remembered Stagecoach Mary's wrath when anyone disturbed her lovingly kept ground, saying, "God help anyone who walked on the lawn after Mary had cut it." Fields also tussled with the nuns over her wages, behavior that would have shocked white women who expected African Americans to be well behaved and subservient. So Stagecoach Mary didn't give no damn.
No.
Nah.
She was in charge.
Yeah. This is my town.
Yeah. Dang, we didn't say this earlier, but I wanted to make a comment earlier about when Regina's character is going to break out Rufus Buck from the train, and the train conductor comes out and he like says he's trying to say the N-word, but all that comes out of his mouth is like the first letter, and Regina shoots him in the face, and it is so great. And then she's like, if anybody, the Cherokee Bill's like, what if he was gonna say nincompoop? And she was like, if anybody on this train even says anything that starts with N, I'm gonna kill him.
What if he says nincompoop?
I love that scene. It's just great.
Cherokee Bill is one of my favorites.
And that was the first white person shown in this movie.
And they died immediately.
And he died immediately, which is great.
Immediately.
It was great. It was great. Well played. I love it.
Yeah, Regina King absolutely killed the role of Trudy Smith. Like, oh,
Regina King absolutely kills every role.
Let's
be real.
But oh my gosh, like between her presence and Idris' eyes, we had to rewind so many times.
Oh yeah. There, like, we got lost. There's a scene where Idris Elba, it's actually when Stagecoach Mary goes to try and buy the saloon, and Idris Elba is talking to Zazie Beetz, and he's got these eyes. Like, Idris Elba's eyes are so intense and so like awe-inspiring. We were literally like watching this whole scene where he was talking and we didn't hear anything. We had to rewind the movie because we were just staring at Idris Elba's eyes.
Suddenly they cut away and something's happening. I'm like, I have no idea what he just said. Wait, man.
Nat and Cuffy are in Mayoville, the whitest the whitest white town ever.
Bro, even
And-
the sand is white.
Yeah, like it's like they literally took some white paint and just
Whitewashed it.
Yeah, it was
Everywhere.
great. It's great.
They walk into the bank and
Oof.
it's like maybe 6 or
intense.
7 people in there, and they are all just wide-eyed staring at them the second they walk in.
Dude,
Yeah,
Cuffy is
man.
so scared to walk in those doors.
And
Mhm.
Cuffy sees themselves as a male-ish, type personality, and they had to put on a dress to go undercover for this scene, and really wasn't having it. Like,
Not at
really
all.
wasn't having
All
it.
sorts of uncomfortable and
So
awkward.
every bit of this situation, Cuffy could not be any more uncomfortable.
They were not very enthusiastic.
No,
She tried-
no.
But they managed to successfully rob the bank without killing anyone.
Yes.
And they actually get the bank manager to help them load up all the money with their horses and stuff.
That
And
scene
then-
was really cool because because what's his name? Nat Love walks over to the bank manager and he's like, robbing banks ain't hard. It's robbing banks without killing people that's hard. And then he puts his hand out to shake the bank manager's hand, and then the bank manager shakes his hand and then helps him take all the money bags outside and load up the horse, which is would have been insane to think of at the time. You know what I mean? Not only did he shake this man's hand, but then he went and helped him out, and that wasn't out of fear. That was out of some type of respect. I feel.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm. I think he understood. Oh, they're not here to hurt us. They just need the money.
Yeah, exactly.
And money is, you hand money over rather than a life any day.
Money is not
Absolutely.
worth your life. Exactly. If somebody tries to take your shoes,
Step out of them,
you
hoes.
step out of them. That's it. That's it.
Reeves and Nat agree that Rufus will not release Mary even if they hand over money. So
And I just wanted to take a quick second right inside here to say that Cherokee Bill is played by Lakeith Stanfield. I didn't mention that earlier, and I love Lakeith Stanfield. He's in Get Out. He's in I said it like 15 times yesterday. He's in Get Out. He's in Death Note. He's a really great actor, and I really was happy to see him in this, and he destroyed this role.
He did great.
Bill.
All right,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay. Bill and Nat agree that Rufus probably wouldn't release Mary even if they did hand over the money. So Wiley supplies them with a big old, cart full of guns and dynamite with money. They take the money into Redwood. And
Oh my God, he's Laurent.
Wow.
He's Laurent. That's why he looks so familiar to me. It's not X-Men. He is the black vampire in Twilight. He's Laurent. With
That's
with the
cool.
accent, and he comes in and he talks to him. He's like, he like warns them about his like buddy who is gonna kill and hunt down Bella because that's what he does. Like, he's Laurent. Oh my God, I knew it every time because he's like got the long dreads when he's Laurent, and I've never seen him with those dreads since. I'm really sorry I interrupted you, Matt. That just I didn't expect to read that. I'm sorry.
they take the money into Redwood in 2 cars, one of which is a dummy. Both of them are primed with dynamite. But after the dummy wagon is blown up, killing some of Rufus's henchmen, Nat hands over the money, but is stopped from leaving by Cherokee Bill.
That was awesome because that right arm landed in front of him, and he was like, "Is that the right or the left?"
Bro. Beckwith challenges Bill to a quick draw contest, but is shot and killed by Bill while counting down. I really, really didn't like this
It
scene.
pissed me off so bad, bro. It pissed
Like,
me off so bad.
There's rules. You're supposed to be a known quick draw fighter. You know, you're supposed to follow them rules. Like, you're taking a life. You might as well follow the rules. All he said about it, because this kid wanted to quick draw fight him so bad.
He wanted to prove his worth. He was like, I'm
Yeah.
better. I'm better.
Mhm.
I'm faster.
Yep. And he started counting down, 5.
But he was
It was
playing and he was being
cool.
rude.
It was
was
cool.
being
He
rude.
was being what you would call a poor sport, because he like pulled out the bullet with Cherokee's name on it and slowly put it in the chamber and then said 4. And then he slowly started moving the chamber and then he said 3. And then homie shot him because he was tired of waiting. He meant like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pull. And
And all Cherokee was like, man, why do they gotta count so slow?
yeah.
And he said always count so slow, actually, which means that he's done that probably
Multiple
a few
times.
times.
Well, there's a scene in another point where somebody says that he like cheats the count or that he will shoot somebody in the back and that's why he's so fast. And so that would mean that, it go ahead, because like there's something that happens later that just like proves that he's not as fast as everybody thinks that he is. He cheated to get his title.
Yeah. A gunfight erupts during which Bill, Cuffy, and Reeves and Nat, almost the whole gang, really, kills most of Buck's gang. And the money is destroyed in another explosion. They shoot the little not little. They had quite a fat roll of dynamite just sitting in the cart with a bunch of money. And they shoot it and it goes boom.
What a cool shot.
Oh my god, one of my favorite shots is before all this happens and it's just ongoing through it all. While all of this is taking place in the middle of this town, Rufus Buck is just sitting in his standing in his office right in front of this window that oversees everything. And the second the money blows up, he's just like, okay, and then he turns away.
Yep.
And it's just a great shot. And they do this great like pan through of the town. They start from behind Rufus, go through the window, through the town, and then flip around so you can see it all again from the other side. And it's just great how they did that.
During
It's a beautiful town to do that with too.
During all of this, Stagecoach Mary and not Regina, that's the actor. Stagecoach Mary and Trudy find each other, and boy, do they got a point to prove. And yeah, it's rough because Regina in another scene before this had told a awful story of a bullying her sister and telling us that she will go to any means necessary to get rid of a threat, and she always has been that way. And they meet up and you see like the gloves come off and they put their dukes up and they just start throwing, bro.
It's great.
It is the best fight I have seen in a long time.
It is great. It was a really good like fist fight scene and they went after each other, man. This movie has similar vibes too, and has like filming it like from a filming standpoint, it looks similar to the way that Django and Hateful Eight were shot. And there's a reason for that, actually. The same movies that were used to influence and create Hateful Eight and Django are the same movies that helped influence and create this movie too. So they have a very similar tone and they have similar feels, and it really made it easy for us to get into this because we already like 2 cowboy films that are similar to this.
Wiley infiltrates the the house that Rufus is in with Moss dynamite. He's
Oh,
got like
dude.
he's got like a solid like 3-pound bundle of dynamite hanging in his hand.
Hmm.
But as he goes up to Rufus, I don't know why he doesn't just kill him and get it over with. But he just stands there and they start talking. As he's standing there and talking to Rufus, Rufus just turns around and is like, "No, you're not gonna kill me," and shoots the dynamite in
Bro.
Wiley's hand, and then
Dude.
Wiley isn't there anymore.
Bro.
So
Wiley got a problem making good decisions, I feel.
It's
He's
such a
real
cool
slow.
kill. That's exactly how Quentin Tarantino died in Django, and it's just such a cool kill.
gone. Mary is freed by Cuffy, and they chase after Smith, who she defeats in a hand-on-hand fight during a lull. Bill is shot in the back by Bill, which this is a really sad scene. They're sitting in the bar, and he takes out his lucky coin from his little inside chest
Oh.
pocket, and the bullet hits the coin. He's like, "Well, would you look at that?"
And then
And
kisses
then
it.
kisses it, and then bang, gets shot in the back.
Bro, this scene messes with me too because like Bill is like trying to like he's astonished. He didn't realize like what was happening. He got shot in the back. He turns around with this astonished look on his face and he like tries to touch Cherokee, and Cherokee like pushes his hand down and he's like, "Don't do that." And he's like, "No, dude, don't do that." And then he says, he is speaking in Cherokee. He says, "Being scared will only give you bad karma in the afterlife." And it hurts,
Oof.
bro. That scene hurts my heart, man.
Yeah.
And of course, Cuffy's over there just traumatized now.
Because Cuffy watched Beckworth get killed and they just watched Bill get shot in the back. And so Cuffy's like, "All right, bet. Draw. We're gonna do this." And they draw and Cuffy wins. And as Cherokee Bill is walking out of the saloon, Cuffy says Pickett was faster. Or no, Beckworth was faster. And that hurts. And that goes what we were talking about earlier, where he cheated his way to get there, because if he would have actually fought Beckworth, he would have lost. His death scene is dope, by the way. He's like, he realizes he gets shot and he doesn't do like the beg for his life or anything. He just like puts his hand around his neck and stumbles outside into the sunlight and looks at the sun and then lets go of his neck and dies. And it's just G. Like, it's
damn,
just
bro.
G.
my man's been ready to go for a while.
Right. He knew
Yeah.
exactly what he was going to do as soon as that bullet hit him.
He's been thinking about that bullet.
He got a lot of karma to work off in the afterlife,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
He probably had a lot of souls weighing on his conscience too.
Okay. So, fun fact about Nat Love. He was born in June 1854, and he died on February 11th, 1921 in Los Angeles, California. He was born in Davidson County, Tennessee. So he traveled the states quite far. But
Cool.
you can go see his place of burial in the city of Santa Monica Woodlawn Cemetery, Mausoleum, and Mortuary Funeral Home.
That's awesome.
Wow. I have to make the note here. We always feel like the timeline that these movies are depicted in are so far removed from us, but they're really not.
No, it was not that long ago.
This is all still very recent history.
People, oh, look at that. Maysville, White Town, maize, as in mayonnaise, is synonymous with white people. So they did that on purpose. Undercover
Yeah.
Brother, referencing Undercover Brother and Grown Ups. That's great. That's so great.
Nat Wood also has the nickname Deadwood Dick from a large crown. That nickname followed him for the rest of his life and he got that name from winning a rodeo competition in a town named Deadwood.
Dang.
Oh wow.
He is a real deal cowboy by winning the rope, throw tie, bridle, and saddle and bronco riding contests. How did Nat? Okay, so Nat Love apparently was a slave, and he escaped slavery by running away to, and I'm assuming he got hurt because it says here that a band of Native Americans nursed him back to health, wishing to adopt him into the tribe. Eventually, Love writes he stole a pony and escaped into West Texas. Nat enters Rufus's house, but finds Rufus unwilling to defend himself. Instead, Rufus tells him about his own parents. His outlaw father killed his mother after a long period of abuse, and then abandoned Rufus when he was 10 years old. Rufus subsequently hunted his father down, finding he changed his ways and name, and reveals that his father was also Nat's.
Man.
While he killed his father in revenge, he said the real revenge was driving Nat into being an outlaw, and that he scarred Nat's face so that he would recognize him again when he saw him later on.
Man.
Nat then, after a small period of time, shoots Rufus after a lot of Rufus telling him to take his revenge and, get his piece. And Nat just keeps saying no for a minute. I didn't really understand why, but one thing in my mind popped up being like maybe keeping him alive could be worse in a way. But then Nat shoots every bullet in his chamber into Rufus, and then like 17 more clicks, and then one last click. He was just,
Man.
It was traumatic. It was a lot of information, and oof.
yeah, I wouldn't.
It was a
be able to
lot.
imagine it.
It was a lot because
I was crying the whole time.
It's his brother.
bro, and then he says that line where Buck says, "But you're gonna be better than me because I couldn't kill my brother, but here you are about to kill yours." And I was like, bro, bro,
Why you gotta pull on the fifis like that, man?
Yeah, man, leave my heartstrings alone.
You could have just scooped up that kid and trucked him off as your little brother and trained him,
right? He could have been your homie, but no,
Right, but nah,
No.
you wanted an enemy.
no.
Man.
Nat and the rest of his companions that are left bury Bill Pickett and Beckworth alongside another grave named Nat Love. Sheriff Reeves will report Nat as dead, and Cuffy joins Reeves in law enforcement.
So cute.
Mary and Nat ride off as Smith looks on from a distance.
Dun dun dun.
Man, I just love this movie so much. So like I saw this movie when it very first came out, when it first hit Netflix, and then I was like, I told everybody they needed to watch it with me. It was just as good as Hateful Eight, but like I had a lot of nobody liked Hateful Eight, nobody liked Hateful Eight and Django at first. I had to show them those movies a million times, and then they started to love them. So with this movie, when I finally was able to sit them down yesterday and show them this movie, they both loved it. Like I got a couple more fun facts for you just to send us off. There is a shop called Carter and Carter. The film was produced by Sean Carter, aka the GOAT, Mr. Carter, Jay-Z. He is married to Beyonce Knowles Carter, of course, so that's why that store is called that. UFC and MMA star Cowboy Donald Cerrone appears as a cowboy that stands down when the white bank is being robbed, which was a cool scene. He was huge too. He's a big old boy.
You're like, you don't want to do that. Okay.
The wonderful Bass Reeves, the sheriff, was actually the real first Black deputy U.S. Marshal west of Mississippi. He was also the inspiration for The Lone Ranger, which makes that movie even worse. So,
Right? Like that. No, we don't talk about that.
Nat Love, Mary Fields, Rufus Buck, Cherokee Bill, Bill Pickett, Jim Beckworth, and Bass Reeves are all real historical figures of the Old West. Let's go. And then my last one is just interesting for, the pandemic that happened and everything. Before the film even began shooting, it faced a delay because Idris Elba came down with COVID-19. As director's writer, James Samuel had been conversing with Idris over many years about this project. He refused to even contemplate recasting this part until his star had recovered. Of course, by then, the entire world had effectively gone into shutdown because of the pandemic, and it faced more delays, But you have to think this movie was filmed during the pandemic, and that did not slow them down at all. They created a masterpiece.
It was amazing. The music, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Every bit of music.
So Matt, why don't you start us out with our ratings this week?
I absolutely love this movie, and my rating is not even on the chart. I wrote down 700 as my rating because this movie is just so
700
great.
out of 5. It's in its own category.
It is.
It
just
really
wins.
is. It's like I told Matt and Kendi, growing up I only liked one cowboy movie, and it was Young Guns, because cowboy films from when I was a kid and before were boring to me. I didn't like the way it was shot. I didn't like none of it, and so
Felt like a dry movie.
It was, and I feel like they just needed some Black people, to. It's look how good these damn movies are, man.
Right? This has been amazing.
It's been a really fun ride. So, Kendi, what do you give it?
Oh, it's definitely 5 out of 5, 10, 100. It wins all the categories. The music was on
Yes.
point. The cinema, the visuals, the way they framed everything, the way they would swoop through without it being slow. It was a tribute to the old movies that they were inspired by in the way they shot things. And also, I think in a lot of graphic novel too, the way they would frame the faces really close so you could really see what emotions they were conveying there. So oh my gosh, it just wins every category. It's amazing.
Right. I love it.
Yeah. I give it 5 out of 5, 100 out of 100. I get same thing. It gets 1,000. It's just incredible. The talent in this movie is exactly that. They are insanely talented. There is not a disappointing character. I know Matt didn't really dig Stagecoach Mary at first, but he definitely warmed up to her.
I definitely
And-
liked her at the end of the movie.
Right.
And I gotta say, I wasn't disappointed in any story. We got open, we got storyline, we got past, we got future, and we got close. We got everything we needed to get a
Mhm.
nice, well-wrapped story. We got characters we all can love. Everybody got a character that they could relate to. I really, really, really dug it. And on that, I just want to say, we got a couple other podcasts coming out, and we've got I got a YouTube video up, and we got more YouTube videos coming, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And as always, I have been Tyler,
I've been Matt.
I'm Kendi.
and we
We
killed
Killed
it.
it.
We Killin' It podcast is written by us, Tyler Mislick, Kendra Parrish, and Matthew Johnson. Video is shot and edited by Matt, and it is produced, and the sound is done by Tyler. Thank you for listening.